Hey everyone, it's Tracy Martirana here from Holistic Wellness with Tracy. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button so you never miss a video. Today I wanted to share with you how I dry herbs from my garden. When it comes to culinary herbs, during the summer, I like to use them fresh whenever possible. But since our growing season is fairly short here, I know that I won't be able to get fresh herbs from my garden in just a few months. So I like to harvest them and dry them. I also have plenty of herbs in my garden that I use for teas and for herbal remedies, and those too need to be harvested and dried so that they can be used all year long. Now, when it comes to harvesting, I like to wait until about mid-morning to even later afternoon. You want to make sure that the dew is dried off the plants so they're not overly wet at the time. And then you also don't want it to be hot, full sun so that they're droopy. You want them to be healthy and in pristine condition while you're harvesting. I typically just come out into my garden with a basket or a bowl and my pair of scissors, and I just start harvesting small amounts that I will dry, and then I will continue to dry more and more each week throughout the summer. Here I'm harvesting thyme, and you can see from the plant that a lot of the stems have flowered already. And for things like thyme and chives, you really don't want the flowered stems to be dried, so I'm cutting out the pieces that have not flowered yet, and that's what I will use. Once I get everything that I want harvested, I bring it into the kitchen. If it's dirty or has been growing in an area where I think maybe, something may have peed on it or something, I will give it a wash and then run it through my salad spinner just to get off any water, and then I let it dry on a towel. Once it's nice and dry, I bring it into my office where I have all these little paper towels labeled set on my workstation. And for ones that have bigger leaves, I rip the leaves off the stems. For some of the smaller leaf ones, I leave them on the stem. And I just leave them sit here to dry for a few days. So depending on how big it is, some will dry within a week, some might take 2. Every few days I flip them around, making sure that they're going to dry evenly. And then as they dry, I put them into a jar. The jars are labeled with what they are, the month and the year, or at least the year that they were harvested, and where it came from. So did it come from my herb garden? Did it come from a friend's garden? Did I harvest it down at our country property? I make sure that's on the label because in a few months, I'm not going to remember. And as it dries, I just keep adding to the jars, and then I'll go and harvest more and dry a little bit more until I am satisfied I have enough for the season. And that is what I will use for my meals and for my teas and for my herbal remedies all year long. If you have some herbs growing out in your garden, I urge you to go out, harvest some, dry them, use them all winter, and enjoy the herbal goodness.